Have you been approached about putting wind or solar up on your farm? Or maybe they want to allow wind participation rights on your farm? You should make sure that you're thinking about all the ins and outs of that agreement. Watch this video to learn more. Hi, I'm Jason Wagner, the farm lawyer. I work with family farmers every single day to help them pass on the farm to the next generation. At my law firm, Wagner Ayler, we've been doing it for over 50 years. I have a lot of clients come in and they've got, potential solar leases they're looking at, or wind leases, or wind participation agreements, or transmission line agreements. And they're wondering, this looks like it might be a good deal. What am I not thinking about? And they can be a good deal. In some cases, um, we've had that they want to put a solar farm up on ground that's maybe not very productive, or, maybe it's rougher ground or it's wet, and they're looking at it and they're saying, well, I struggle with that farm every year anyways. It's not that productive. And now I'm being offered hundreds of dollars more an acre than I'm getting out of it now. And, this could be a good deal. In some other cases, you might be asked about a wind participation agreement. Now, these are unique. It's not saying that we're going to put wind turbines up on your farm. It's that we're saying we want the ability to have wind blow across your farm, and you're not going to object to these wind turbines that are up next door to you. But what are we not thinking about? Well, one of the things that, frustrates me is the solar company might send out a land agent or a salesman, and they'll say, we want all 400 acres out here to sign up under this solar lease. And we'll pay you a rate. Just pick a rate. Let's say it's $1,000 an acre. And you're thinking, wow, that's 400,000 a year that I could get off of this. That's some serious money that could really help things out. But then if you read in the agreement, what it says is we're going to do a due diligence period. We're going to, do soil samples. We're going to figure out where we want to locate this project. And then we're actually going to take 76 acres. Oh, well, now you're getting 76,000 a year instead of 400,000 a year. Is that what you want? Would you still sign this agreement if you knew that that's what it's going to boil down to? What else do we need to think about? Well, where is that solar project going to go? Or where is that wind project going to go? They don't necessarily always tell you at the front end, and they may not know either because they need to do their own studies. They need to know how this is going to fit in with other projects around them in the neighbor's land. So you might end up with maybe a situation where the project's going to go right in the middle of the farm or right on where you do have more productive land, and you're going to be left with scraps and bits and pieces around. Now, a lot of companies are willing to negotiate that. They want to make sure that this is good for you, good for them. So that's something we look at a lot when we're reviewing those solar easements or other types of easements is where is it going to be located? And are we going to be left with land that we can't use, or is it going to be so awkward to get there that it's hardly worth it? So we need to be designing that into our easements. Again, thinking about that due diligence period, there's going to be heavy equipment going out there. When they do the construction, there's going to be a laydown, pad that's going to potentially go over top of drain tile. They're going to be digging in the dirt. What if that all of a sudden causes an issue downstream? Now we've got water coming out or not draining because we have drain tile damage. Again, these are things that oftentimes we can negotiate into those solar leases, but they're not just going to be written into it for you. So you need to review it. What am I getting into? The salesman says one thing. What does the contract say? What am I actually willing to sign up for? What's my minimum threshold to make this worth my while? You have to remember, these agreements can go 40 years, sometimes longer. There's the initial due diligence period, then there's the construction period, and then there's the actual operations period. So that might be 20, 30 years. And then there's renewals. They can do a 20-year period that renews for a second 20-year period. This is a 40+ year contract. You may not outlive this contract, so you're leaving it to your kids. What are we leaving them? What are we getting ourselves into? We need to know this on the front end. And they've given you timelines and said, nope, you need to sign this, in the next 15 days or we're not coming back. They will come back. If they are interested now, they'll be interested later. You should not sign this without having an attorney review it. There's too much at stake to sign this contract over a $5,000 signing bonus and the potential to maybe get $1,000 or more an acre, because you might not be signing up for that. Now, these can vary significantly across the board. It might be $800 an acre. It might be $1,300 an acre. I just throw that out as an example. And these companies, they're reputable companies. They're out there to, get the energy that we need to power the country. But this is your farm, and this may be a contract that you're setting yourself up for the next generation. So make sure that you're taking the time to go through it. You're working with the right attorney, someone who sees these all the time. If you like what you've heard, check out farmlawyer.com, follow me on Facebook, or subscribe to my YouTube channel.